Yeah, so the point I do think it is both, and I think they have become better in recent days at communicating that. I think, I watched Howard Lutnick on Face the Nation, and Lutnick hasn't been the in the past the best communicator on this for the administration, but he was more
He's
he was
better than Navarro.
fair. But he did make
I
the
think I
point that
agree with you, Peter. I think Latnik is not the best at it. Besson is better, but I think the problem is actually it's Latnik's job, and he's not doing as good a job. I think I can do a better job.
Well, but my point being that and Jameson Greer is good as well, the trade rep. But the point being, like, he did talk about how, like, the 10% tariff is going to stay. That is like the other tariffs, the uh with with the various nations, those are what's being negotiated. And those can come down if, countries choose to lower their tariffs on the US, but the 10% tariffs will stay for revenue and other things. But I wanted to make a higher level point in general just about, conventional wisdom in economics that's being promoted by these, expert institutions and people so called. There was an article that, like, I literally just saw this 2 minutes ago. It came up in my feed, um, from the Telegraph, the Daily Telegraph in the UK, um, basically talking about how it's come out. It's been alleged that after Brexit, the World Economic Forum essentially is being accused of manipulating its data to make post-Brexit economic productivity in the UK look lower than it actually was because what's the uh otherwise it would be Mr. Schwab 87 wrote to staff that the UK, quote, must not see any improvement, as otherwise it would be exploited by the Brexit camp. The point being, and I'm not impugning, Mr. Moore seems like a nice guy, right? I'm not impugning his integrity, but I do think that a lot of the conventional wisdom that's supposedly backed up by experts and statistics and stuff from the that, is weighted in favor of the establishment on various issues, whether it be that go in that, when things get brought up that fly in the face of sort of the consensus, that a lot of that is driven by either ideological bias or outright corruption. And I think, this popped up, and I think it was a very good example of that. Again, it's being investigated, but, worth considering.